Alrighty, welcome to episode 200 and was it 61 of Backpacking America. This is a topic that excuse me while I adjust my mic. This is a topic that's been bothering me, not bothering me, but I guess like I don't know, something of interest to me for the last couple of years. It's the high divorce rate in our country. And we're hitting about like 51% of all new couples getting divorced. So there's a study put out by CNBC, and it's actually quite astonishing. It said 690,000 couples reported getting divorced in 2021, according to the CDC, and that's about half the number of couples who reported getting married. So that's relatively in the 51 to 53 percentile mark of people getting divorced. And that's really crazy to me. Now, full disclosure, and some of you are going to be like, oh, that must be so nice. My parents have been together for like 20, almost 30 years. 25, almost 30 years, excuse me. And I just like, so I have a relatively like stable household. And it's kind of crazy that like a lot of the reasons people get divorced is over stuff like, to me, is pretty petty, like career choices. Now, I understand, we got to make our money and stuff, but like, you know, it really kind of comes down to trying to kick my wire off of my, wait a minute. There we go. That's what was messing up my mic. I had wires on top of wires pulling this down. So, when it comes to like career choices, right? Like I understand you got to make money. But like, it depends on like what the career choice is. Like, is your partner like quitting his job to pursue his rap career and then like still putting out garbage that isn't playing or getting hits? Or is he like pursuing like a stable job while he's pursuing a side hustle or a passion project with a long-term goal of developing that into a main source of income? Like, what are we doing here? Or, is your partner like in my parents' example, right? Like my parents didn't have a lot of money for most of their marriage and, while they were dating. And my dad has always owned businesses and such, and he started working with Primerica. And he, it's all commission based. So he was just like, damn, bro, like I don't really, like it was tough. Like, my mom and my dad had to make a lot of sacrifices for that, dream to come true. But there was a plan in place. There was a goal in place. There was a support system in place for him to achieve, success in the company. So, it wasn't like, it wasn't anything willy-nilly. Now that, things got tough. There were tough financial situations our family did endure, especially in our, early days, especially when they had me too. But what really got both my mom and my dad through it was both of them being supportive of each other and not, fighting over the career choice. It was, I have a dream to do this and I want to do this. And I, really think it would be a good move for our family. And, my mom agreed with my dad when he said that. And, here we are now, everything's fine. But, career choice, like what does that mean with career choices? Like, it's probably like a money thing. And what that to me says is like lack of a supportive partner. Whereas like, oh, like I don't want to be a teacher anymore. I kind of just want to like do something else and give up this job. Or like, oh, like I kind of work, at this fast food place and I like this fast food place. I really don't want to give it up, or I can't find anything else. Or maybe it's like you work a really intensive job on Wall Street, or you work an intensive job in media. I mean, I used to work in media. Not that I don't anymore. I own my own company, but when I worked for other people, it was very intensive and stressful. Or, if it wasn't intensive and stressful, it was boring and I got paid nothing. So, those things play into it too. But really, like when it comes down to career choice and like trying new things and doing new stuff, having a supportive partner that's okay with like fluctuation and income and like things in life. I mean, I think that's really important. And if anything, like, you know, that should be established right away. Like, like I could tell if someone's like, looking for like long term, like not long term, but like looking for someone that's like stable economically, in the sense that like they want someone that's going to be able to like enable them to either be a stay-at-home mom or just like work part-time on the weekends and buy them fancy shit and take them on vacations. Or I could tell like if someone's like willing to go with the punches and wants more out of life. So, it really kind of comes down to that. um I think that a lot of people, the number one reason too is people divorcing over career choices. So it's really like you just need to be supportive of your partner. And I don't know how you can become more supportive of your partner, but divorcing over a career choice, that's what that person wants to do. People have autonomy. So you can't really get pissed at them. Like, you chose that person at the end of the day. Like, that they want to be an artist, or that they majored in English in college, and they're probably not going to have a lot of money. That was on you. Like, you dated that person, you married that person, you had kids with that person. You know what's going to happen. The second biggest thing is parenting differences. Now, sure, these will probably come out like as you have children and such, but you kind of get a feel for like how a person's going to treat their kids when you're talking to them as regular people. But that I can understand is like when you have like the kid in front of you, it's like you could talk all this game, like saying you're going to do this and that, to discipline the kid or raise the kid, and then you're over here doing the wrong things for the kid, enabling them, or the other end of it where you're abusing them. So that I can understand. That really I can't really speak on, because I'm not, thank God, not in the kid realm yet, or anytime soon, hopefully. I don't know why this light is. There we go. I was like, why is my shadow look so gross? And then I'm like, oh, I didn't turn on all my lights. Division of household labor. So one partner doing more work than the other. Surprisingly, that's number 3. That's pretty fucking easy, and you should know that like kind of before you're dating someone. But like at the same extent, like for example, like me and my roommates, like we were always a mess. And that washing the dishes, because we didn't have a dishwasher, was always the biggest beef we had with each other. It was like, bro, come on, can you just wash your fucking dishes so I can cook, and blah, blah, blah. It was always a source of argument. But, division of household labor, that's a big one. That's like the third reason. I really think that like but I didn't love, like, I love my roommates as my boys, but I wasn't like fucking my roommates. I was like, these are my friends. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a little different. Like, if I was with someone that I really loved and we moved in together and it was like, yo, like, we got to figure out a way to make this work for each other, I'd be like, we got to make a list, or we got to alternate this day and that day. We got to change or, honestly, sometimes one person has to do more work than the other. One person might work 14 hours a day. The other person might work 8. So like, if someone's home more, they're going to end up doing more stuff. It really depends. And then, there's of course extracurriculars that you need, and then family needs and stuff. But these are things that can get worked out with a plan, and that's the plan you stick to. And I think that a lot of people might, like, they're given a plan. Like, if they do get to the planning stage, they might be just dropping the ball, where it's like, oh, yeah, I don't really want to do that, so I'm just not. Like, you can't. Like, you got to understand that if you want to be with this person and you want to make it work, you're going to have to, like, commit to the plan of, like, cleaning and shit. And then relationships with family. Yeah, if one of your spouses hates the other spouse's family, it's going to be a fucking mess. If you both hate both of your families respectively, I mean, then it's great. But, like, it could also just be like, yo, I want to hang out with my family more, but that's not fair. Like, you guys got to do Christmas and Thanksgiving. Like, I kind of want to do Easter. Nah, we want to do Easter at our house. Like, we can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. That's a source of contention. Relationship with friends. You're hanging out with your friends too much. You're going to the club too much. You're doing this too much. Really, like, when it comes to the relationship with, like, the friend side of thing, and to an extent, like, family too, setting boundaries and expectations, like, for me personally, I don't really give a fuck if my partner wants to hang out with, like, and I'm not in a relationship, but, like, hypothetically, if my partner wanted to, like, hang out with their friends, I don't care. If you want to hang out with your friends 3 days a week, I don't care. As long as I get to see you once or twice a week for dinner, fuck it. I like, we've got to build the relationship too. Like, consider me, a friend, but like, not a friend, but you know what I mean? Like, consider me of someone that you want to build a relationship with and maintain a relationship with. There's some people where they are the opposite end, where they don't like their significant other hanging out with their friends a lot or at all, or are very controlling with what they do. There's a lot of dudes. They're like, "Oh my god, you're going out dressed like that to the club. Where, what are you gonna cheat on me? Like, that's stupid." Um, there's people where it also delves into the insecurity side, where it's like, "Oh, what are you doing, talking to your bitches or your hoes?" And it's like, I've been asked that like multiple times. I'm like, bro, like, I'm looking at memes right now. Like, leave me. I'm texting my mom. Like, you know what I mean? So, relationships with friends, insecurity also drives a lot of that too. Also not caring a lot either. Like, being so laissez-faire with it that you're just like, okay, well, do you even like care about seeing me? Like, I just canceled on you for the third time in a row to hang out with my friends. Like, do you even care? I think like a healthy mix, like for me personally, I would be like, yo, if like my girl canceled on me multiple times to hang out with friends, I'd be like, bro, like, do you still want to do this? Because like, you know, we make plans and you're just bailing on me to cancel with your friends. Like, we got to make time for us. Like, I can't, like, I feel like I'm being a second option. Back to the relationships with family thing, that requires like a lot of boundary setting and expectations beforehand. But the thing is, like, if there's problems with the family before marriage, which usually show up within 6 to 12 months, um, sometimes sooner, uh, you kind of know how it's going to swing for your marriage. And if there's already disagreements over like whose house you could stay at, liking and disliking of a certain, family, then that's how you got to make some changes immediately. And if you're the type of person where it's like you don't like, for me, like if my significant other really didn't like my parents, I'd be like, then I really don't like you, because my mom and dad are really all I have. I don't have, I don't really, I'm not that close with the rest of my family. So it's just kind of like my parents are really my family. Um, so it's pretty like it's a little weird. So if my significant other was like, you got to distance yourself from your family, I'd be like, no, like I don't want to do that. Um, so that's just kind of like a red flag for me. For other people, it might be like, okay, fine, I don't really care, fuck it. But for me, like, also, like, I'm very wary of people that want to take away from your. So like, if someone wanted to take me away from my friends and like isolate me from my family, that's potential to set me up for something dangerous. Like, you don't have to like my family, but you don't have to like separate me from them either. And I think that's where a lot of people like miss the bar. Like, you don't have to like them, but that doesn't mean you have to separate them either. Finances, understandable. I think it's a little douchey. Shit happens, life happens. If you're divorcing someone because their financial situation changed from when you first met them, you're kind of a piece of shit. Um, if anything, you should be getting a better job if you're really that concerned about money, you stupid gold digging whore. Um, and then health choices. That I understand. Like, if you're working out every day, to a degree. Like, if you just stop going to the gym just because you don't feel like it, and you stop doing any physical activity and you're starting to pound McDonald's every day, then I'd be like, okay, well, what the fuck is going on? Like, I can understand, um, if like you were dating someone and then they become like this fucking fat fuck within like 6 months, it's just kind of within 6 months after marriage, it's like, okay, like what happened? Like, why are you? That I understand. Um, that's why for me, like when I look for a partner, I also like kind of want them to be taking their health seriously. Like, it's a lifestyle. Like, for me, fitness is a lifestyle. I know I'm not like fucking roid ragey or whatever, but like, I'm strong. And I like going to the gym because it keeps me, happy and healthy and, you know, able to like do things. So I like going to the gym for that purpose. Getting bigger is also nice too. Um, But when it comes to health choices, I totally get that. Um, to a degree, it's one thing if like, like if you pick up smoking in the middle of your marriage, and it's like, I don't like that you're smoking. Like, this is stressing me out, and then you start like getting the smoker's cough and all this other shit. Like that, I can understand because then it's like, well, now you're going to die. Like, I don't want you to die. Or like, you're doing coke or you're smoking pot. Like, hello, like you were never into that, and I'm not okay with this. Um, Drinking every day, binge drinking, that I understand. Um, Health choice, like things you're choosing to do to yourself, totally understand that. But if it's something that happens to you, like you get a serious illness or a serious injury, you know, you married the person through sickness and health, like you're supposed to be there for that person just because now they had something horrible happen to them. Yeah, you can't really bail. You can't really bail. If something horrible happens before you get married, um, you know, then you got to be like, okay, like, do I want to live with this for the rest of my life or not? But if you're already married, I mean, like, and it's, 5, 10, 20 years down the line, like, you're set, you're locked in, you have kids, you have a house, somewhere, you're locked in, bro. Um, so, life happens. You can't control that. You can control the other stuff, but that you can't really control. Um, Almost half of the people that responded to this study said that their career choices were the biggest source of conflict in their marriage. Parenting difference came in second at 43%. Science also said women who are partnered and had children with men reported having less sexual desire if they were doing a larger portion of the housework. I wonder how that fared for men. Because if it's reversed, there's a lot of working women and stay-at-home dads are becoming a thing. What's that doing with them? But here's the thing, though. 63% of respondents said that having a better understanding of commitment prior to marrying could have helped them avoid divorce, and 54% said that if they had a better understanding of their spouse's morals and values prior to getting married, they might still be together. So this is what's fucking stupid about that. The first half, right? Having a better understanding of commitment prior to marrying could have helped them avoid divorce. So, like, couples therapy and therapy exists. One, and this is why I suggest people go to therapy. Like, I'm in therapy, actually, to learn about relationships and, like, why am I having trouble finding a long-term relationship? So I'm figuring this out because I don't want to be in the position where I'm one of those 63% that marries and is like, oh, fuck, I didn't realize how serious this was. And now I don't want to be like that. I actually want to be like, okay, mentally, like I am prepared to commit to a person. I am prepared. You need to work on yourself. And maybe this is part of like my upbringing too, because like my parents worked on themselves. So like they kind of passed that like need down to me, which is pretty cool. I just feel that like when it comes to and this is the thing, like when it comes to like building a relationship with someone, you're like including another person into your life. And the fact that like 50% of marriages end in divorce and 63% of those divorcees are saying, yeah, we just didn't understand what commitment meant is actually alarming. And it's an even better reason as to why you need to learn. You need to look into yourself as to like why do I have trouble learning about commitment? Why am I having a hard time with this? I think it's essential before you pull the trigger on something like that. And then, looking at like your whole relationship before you marry. Like, and here's like if you have doubts about anything or you have a weird feeling about like the subject of marriage, don't do it. Just don't do it. Like me, I'm relatively sure about like after a couple of dates, definitely, but within the first week to a month, I can kind of tell like if this person's going to be right for me or not. If not, I just end it. It's just like, why am I even going to get to the dating part where it's like, okay, we went on a couple of dates and I'm just like, I can't see this going anywhere. Or, so there's plenty of, and then you sit back and you look at your experiences and you're like, you take notes and you're like, okay, why didn't I like this person? Why did this not happen? Or if you're in your relationship and it feels weird and, you feel like kind of like you don't know what commitment is, and you're having trouble with that, write it down, talk about it. It's the best way forward. And this is the thing too, like you're in a marriage right now, right? And you don't understand what commitment is. Go to couples therapy or go to individual therapy and just like try not to be a piece of shit. Like, don't fuck your coworker. Don't go on dating apps. Don't cheat. Literally, like, you married your person. You married them for a reason. You got to find that fucking reason, dude. I mean, like, I'm single. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't really had anything, like, super serious. And I know this. And that's just because, like, I see the writing on the wall with other people. I have seen so many fucking people break up, get divorced, get pregnant, separate. Like, and it's just kind of like you learn from other people's mistakes. It's just like, yo, like, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be like that. It's like, dude, you can literally change your whole thing just by looking into yourself and looking at what you want to be like and what you don't want to be like. The second part of this, 50. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm like so loud today, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like get my setup to actually like look pretty. All right, fuck it. The airplanes are just staying right here. So 54% of the respondents, right, said that if they had a better understanding of their spouse's morals and values prior to getting married, they might still be together. That is so fucking retarded because I don't understand. Like, most people, when they, like, go towards marriage, right, or they get towards, like, that point of marriage. Also, I'm so sorry for anyone listening right now, hearing me readjust my mic. I'm trying to, like, get in a comfortable position, and today I just can't seem to find it. But, when it comes to, like, that 54%, that's fucking stupid because, like, you should know, like, what someone's morals are before you, like, while you're dating them. Like, it's like, how do you not understand what someone's morals and values are after, like, the first 6 months? Like, I'm pretty upfront with my morals and values. I have a fucking audio. I have 185 hours of content on this podcast that showcase not only my morals and values, but how they've developed over the last 4.5 years. So I don't know, like, I know what I value and what I am and what I'm not. Like, it's out here, and usually people share that with me, share their morals and values with me. And because I'm firm in myself and what I believe in, I know what doesn't work for me. Like, I'm not dating a neo-Nazi. Like, that's for sure. You know what I mean? But, like, I have my own set of morals and values, and usually, like, it either complements or conflicts, and it's usually brought out within the first month. I just don't really see how you get all the way to the marriage stage, and you still don't understand your partner's morals or values. How do you not, like, that's honestly an excuse, and I personally feel like when people say that, they themselves don't know their own morals and values, or their spouse's morals and values changed over time, and because people change, like, my political opinions and my analysis on the world has changed. I mean, if you look at episode, what is this, 261? Like, go to episode 161 or, like, episode 100, and start from there. You'll see how different it is. You'll see how different my thought process is because I change as a person. Like, life changes. So, it's one thing if someone, like, their point of view changes. If, like, you were dating, like, this, say you're a liberal, and, like, you were dating this anti-racist, anti-gun person, and then all of a sudden a swastika is hanging in your living room, and the guy has an arsenal preparing for a race war. Oh, like, that I understand, leaving your partner over, because that's so fucking radical. But just being, like, going from, like, I don't know, like, yeah, I'm not a fan of the police, to, like, yeah, you know what, I kind of see their point of view. I believe blue lives matter. It doesn't mean I hate black people, but I believe blue lives matter. Like, they matter too, and like I don't think we could be one-sided on this because both sides have points that they can make. Like that type of a change is one thing, but if that's enough to set someone off, because here's the thing, a lot of people are very, very, very partisan, and they conflict morals and political opinion together. So as people's political opinions change, that is considered people's morals changing. Therefore, that leads to like high divorce rates as well. Like that's 54% of these respondents. That's 54% of these respondents saying if they understood their partner's morals and values more, they would have stayed together. And that also means there's a lack of communication, which can arise from changing morals and shit. How you have a lack of understanding, though, when you get to the marriage phase, again, really blows my fucking mind, because by that point, most people get married within 3 to 5 years, of, their first date. Or like, within 3 to 5 years of the first date. Or maybe even longer, honestly, like maybe 6-7 years, because like you get engaged and then like you marry like 2 or 3 years after. So really, like you have 7 years, let's just say 7 years with this person before you get married, and it's like from first date to marriage, like you kiss at the altar, you sign the paperwork at the city hall, and you're married. Tell me how you don't get a good understanding. Like what are they, like a Al Qaeda like, are they a communist who happened to be a member of Al Qaeda who also happens to like Hitler and practice Hinduism? I mean, like how, like, most people's values and morals are really not that difficult to understand. Like it's literally just like yo, I don't conflict people's moral character with their political opinion. Oh, okay. I believe politics reflects your morals. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I hate Republicans because I think they're racist. Oh, well, I'm a Republican, but I am not racist. Oh, well, I genuinely think you are racist if you're voting for policies that really da 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 da. Like, two opposites. You understand? Like those are two radically different worldviews. You have the understanding right there. If you don't follow the political program of a party according to person A, person B is a racist. If person B thinks politics and morals are separate, then person A doesn't have politics or doesn't have morals. Therefore, since they're so radical, this is going to cause a problem, and there must be either agree to disagree or like talking about it, but setting boundaries around it. You understand? There's not like for me, I went on a date with a girl and it ended very amicably, but I mean, like the whole situation, but like she thinks that morals and politics play a role together and are a thing, and I think the opposite. And I just said we should agree to disagree, and she said no, we should talk about our differences. And I said okay, but as long as it's not going to be the subject of the entire relationship, or the entire time that we're sitting here talking, I don't mind. It's boundary setting, knowing your values and your morals, and how to express them, and then clear communication. That's what you really need. And it's like either a lot of people are ignorant. This screams to me a lot of people are ignorant to their partner's sense of self, and they instead kind of like ignore it, or they try to make them like themselves. So, people are people and are unique in that regard. So it's unfair to classify people, try to like force someone to be you, but maybe maybe what people should do is, instead of just like trying to get into a relationship because they're lonely, they should try to learn about themselves and figure out who's going to work with me, not for me. Meaning, who would be a nice addition to my life and what I want to achieve. And if that happens to be no one, then that happens to be no one, and then you move on with life. You go alone. It's lonely, but I mean, what's better? I mean, being free and alone, free to do what you want and achieve any goal you want, but you don't have a partner, that you can't find anyone that supports you in that. Or being with someone for the sake of being with someone, and they crush all your dreams and ambitions, and they want you to do something that doesn't fit your narrative and doesn't fit your life purpose. if you want to do that, you're just, that's it. You have a person. And people, look, I hate to say this, but people die. What are you going to do when they die? Then you're literally alone again in your, you could be in your 70s or 80s most likely, and it's like, fuck, I just wasted everything for this person and now they're gone. Man, the resentment I'd feel, bro. Like, that's just not my type of timing. Like, I'd rather be with someone that's going to compliment me and be okay with me setting my own goals and achievements and, my own future. Like, having separate futures but the same destiny, like, that's kind of like my type of deal. Like, I don't care what my girl does. I hope she doesn't care what I do, as long as we have a plan to make money happen and make a living together happen. That's all I care about. So a lot of stuff here that I read off could easily be remedied through therapy, conversation with your partner, and just paying the fuck attention and, like, honestly not succumbing to loneliness. Like, it's not really that bad. It's like sometimes it gets bad. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, sometimes it does suck to be lonely. Like, there's a lot of times I do think about that, but at the same time, like, I think about it, I see a lot of people getting pregnant. I see a lot of women I know getting pregnant. I see a lot of men I know having baby mamas now, or being miserable in their relationships. Or lately, I've seen, I'm friends with people that are actually happy in their relationships, but just like men as a whole, like either miserable in their relationship or don't. They're like, oh, like I'm newly single. It's just kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, I just see a lot of crazy shit, like, where it's like on one end, like, I see a lot of people in happy relationships, and I see a lot of lonely single people that are just hooking up, and then they have baby mamas, or they just can't, find someone long term. It's like, there's no point, like, satisfying loneliness either temporarily or, long term. Like, that comes within yourself, kind of. It's very difficult to find, you're not going to find, like, um, an aid to that in other people. It helps, but at the end of the day, people die, and if you're the one that's left, what are you going to do with yourself when you're alone? So it's really just kind of like finding how you as a person operate and work without the presence of other people. So I think more alone time, not loneliness, is really what people need. Um, and then if you find someone that would add value to your life and your existence, bring them on board. Um, don't bring people on just to satisfy a feeling, because then what's going to happen is that feeling's going to turn into anger, resentment, depression, because you're going to be like, damn, I just, fucked this girl and I nutted in her and now I have a kid and I was really just lonely. And now I realize that, and I don't love this girl, and now I have a kid that I never really wanted, and I really wanted to be in Miami right now, having a fun life and maybe building something that I would enjoy down there. But instead, I'm in New York and I got all this other shit. So, that's just how life goes. Life is choices, man. Um, and you got to just be okay with them, and you got to deal with the cards that you're dealt. It's really just kind of like that. Anyway, thanks again for listening. This is episode 261 of Backpacking America. I hope you guys got a little bit out of it. It's something I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. I will be live tomorrow again at 10 p.m. Hopefully, if not, I will let everyone know on Instagram.